So I'm here at Scout Adventures Woodhouse Park to be part of JOTA and JOTI. So Jamboree on the air and Jamboree on the internet this weekend. So JOTI and JOTA have been going for quite some time. JOTA, which is the air, which is radio and airwaves, has been going for around about 60 odd years, whereas the internet one has only been around about 20. But here at Woodhouse Park, they do a massive activity-based weekend for beavers, cubs, scouts, explorers and network members. Not only do they have the activities on site to have a go at, but also they get to chat to people online, do some international like sort of craft stuff, learn how to bake and cook, as well as go on the airwaves and chat away. So at this event they get themselves a passport which has different areas and different things that they have to tick. For example, international zone, there's things about obviously the internet zone and who did they speak to, where did they come from, as well as obviously the JOTA, so obviously Jamboree on the air zone, who did they speak to, what was the call sign, and each one of them ticks off certain badges, so the international badge for example, or the DIY badge, and they have a little handy little passport so that the leaders know exactly what they've done, so they can tick off the badge. These beavers are chatting to people all over the world, and what they do then is there's a map behind them so they can put pins in to say where they've been talking to. There are two different ways that they can talk to each other online. There is TeamSpeak, where they can obviously speak to scouts all around the place, and there is IRC Chat, which I'm in at the moment. So on IRC Chat, I'm chatting to Finnish, Poland, Saudi Arabia. There are tons of different scout leaders chatting about what their group's doing, what they're up to, where they're from. I got my first sticker! On each zone, they've got certain things to ask. For example, who did you speak to? What group are they from? 3 facts that they need to learn, and what country did they come from? They can also chat on TeamSpeak. I think I'm chatting to someone in Japan. Germany? I can't actually remember.
I've spoken to Americans, Australians and French people.
I couldn't quite get the country, but they had an accent.
There's also different channels for the different types of language that you speak. So if you're fluent in French, you can go on a French channel. If you're not Espanol or Greek, Hungarian, they're all on here. It's interesting. One of the zones is the food zone, and these guys are cooking chicken fajitas.
Fajita, lift the bottom up. Like that. Okay, and then you eat it.
Oh, thank you.
So, shall I do it again?
And they even are using soldering irons to create their own circuits. So these cubs are getting a chance to go on radio live. We have 5 other scouts with us. You're celebrating my last show. This is it now.
It's your first show as well.
First and last. We've been that good. I will not do another show without Will and Amelia. This is it now. This is in my
We've set the standards, haven't we?
You have. It's high. It's very high. So who have we got starting from this corner over here?
I am Jake.
Jake?
I'm James.
Jake, James.
I'm Joe.
Jake, James, Joe. If these two last names do not start with a J, you've just ruined it. What have we got?
I'm also James.
Oh, okay.
Ted.
For this weekend, just in this site alone, there are over 500 scouts coming either Saturday or Sunday to do this event and speak to millions of scouts around the world. Not only do they have the radio going online and speaking to people, but they also have craft events for international. For example, like tiles, or making beads, or this and the other. They've also got some adventurous activities to do, including these. They have sumo wrestling, and they also are doing archery. And they also get to climb a very high wall. And they also have axe throwing. And also, because it's Jamboree on the air as well, they get to go on the airwaves. So for JOTI, they have a jib code. So the jib code is a series of numbers and letters depending on where you are. So GB would be Great Britain, certain regions in that area. And when they're chatting online, there are some bingo cards. So if they're doing a full activity of just staying online and chatting to that many different people around the world, they can tick off where they've been. So hence a lot of people on the chat rooms or through the obviously the headsets talking will ask for their JID code, and therefore they can complete their bingo card and speak to them in different places around the world.
Jamboree on the air, Jamboree on the internet, JOTA JOTI started way back in 1957 with Jamboree on the air, which was obviously way before the internet.
Yeah.
Rolled out of a World Scout Jamboree, of an activity at World Scout Jamboree for young people to take part in at the Jamboree using amateur radio. And from then on, it seemed logical from there, why wait the next 4 years for those people to come together? So from then on, it became Jamboree on the air.
Right.
World Scout Jamborees every 4 years. Jamboree on the air was annually. So the radio's side of things grew, and so did Jamboree on the air. Jamboree on the internet joined it later on, to give more young people the opportunity to do things online rather than on amateur radio, or as well as on amateur radio. Amateur radio is very licensed. So in some countries only licensed operators can use it. In other countries a licensed operator can allow, under their supervision, an unlicensed operator to use it as well. So it can, depending on the country, it can be very prescriptive. Whereas the internet is, except a few countries, is available to anybody and everybody to do as they will. So Jamboree on the internet is taken off considerably more. A few years back, the World Scout Committee made the decision, rather than running Jamboree on the air and Jamboree on the internet as simultaneous events, to merge it into one event. Right. Which is why it's now JOTA JOTI rather than JOTA and JOTI. That we estimate last year there's around 1.3 million young people taking part. Already this year, we're still part of the way through JOTA JOTI, we've got over 9,000 different locations registered on our database to take part. So it gives young people the opportunity to communicate with scouts and guides around the world. The same sort of atmosphere as a World Jamboree, but it could be in their front room, or it could be 10 minutes down the road at a scout headquarters, or it could be a more local, regional or national event, bringing young people together. Sometimes where they do a range of other activities as well, or sometimes where they will purely do amateur radio and Jamboree on the internet in various guises. With the internet side, there's internet relay chat, there's TeamSpeak, Minecraft's been added recently as well, so there's a variety of activities even with the internet side of things that young people can take part in.
Well, there are people that are what we call operators or moderators or whatever, myself included in that throughout the weekend, and we look through the chats and we moderate and make sure everything's safe. So there is terms and conditions, there are rules, there are all those kind of things if you're using the service, and there are moderators that ensure that those rules are followed. It's completely in with scouting, so they obviously follow the protocol and everything is as safe as it can be. It's a great opportunity to meet and talk to other scouts from around the world, and it's something that you wouldn't get to do otherwise. This is the event that facilitates that, because it's not something that groups would usually do off their own back, and there are so many partners and organisations that provide the infrastructure for JOTI therefore making it easier for you to get involved with it. So it's a really easy process to do that, and it's one of these opportunities where you meet new people, you can make lifelong friendships, and it's a bit of fun.
It's a good opportunity to meet other scouts from other areas, not just in the UK, outside internationally. Chat with them, have some fun, do various activities. It's all about being a big family of scouting.
Previous years we've run it as a county event purely for Avon County. For this year, Scout Adventures got in touch, specifically the manager of Woodhouse Park, and asked if we would be prepared to come out and run the JOTI side of it for Woodhouse Park as a national event alongside Gilwell Park and Yorkshire.
Yeah.
They visited what we provide as a county last year, and they really liked the idea of what we do. So we have a setup where there's different activity bases, but all on an international theme, so that the activity has got something for everybody. Because although JOTI is purely an internet-based activity and it's quite accessible for the majority of people, for some people it'd be something that's 5-10 minutes, oh I've done that now and I want to move on to something else. Other people are quite happily sit there for hours and hours and hours, could spend all day on it. And so we tried to think of as many different activities based on an international theme that we could provide, so that as many people as possible could enjoy the event, and they'll all go home having really enjoyed something. Apart from the JOTI bit, which is actually Jamboree on the air, where we use iPads instead of a computer setup, we had JOTI radio as an activity where the young people can actually go live on broadcast radio across the world and telling them about their JOTI experiences and who they've spoken to and what they've got up to. We've had an electronic zone where they've made a small electronic amplifier kit. Majority of them have worked, and the kids have really enjoyed that, the ones that have been successful. We had a cooking zone because what Scout does not love doing cooking, and this year we did for heaters, which has seemed to go down a storm. I've enjoyed them. Being at Woodhouse Park, we've been able to have the JOTA station as well, which has been another aspect of what we've not been able to provide in previous years. So the young people this year have actually been able to do both JOTA and JOTI as it's supposed to be at the JOTA event. And then we've had an international where they've had crafts to keep them amused while other things are going on that are of an international theme. So we've had hammer beads, which they can create, flags, the World Scout badge. We've had tile decorating, again they can do it on an international theme. The world's kind of their oyster where that's concerned.
So whatever you do, Jamboree on the internet and Jamboree on the air, connect with people. That's what it's all about. It's about meeting new friends from other countries that maybe you never get to meet. But sometimes those friendships, especially online, are what we continue to have, and we benefit from that. Scoutadelic is one of those. We have thousands of different followers all around the world, and I'm probably never going to meet them, but there's a possibility that we can connect in so many other ways. Do